Hello family, welcome today with TT. Today we have here Jessica Sem, and I would like her to introduce herself, but our topic for today is on acts of forgiveness. Jessica, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for inviting me to your show. My name is Jessica Sem, and I work with professional services entity called Deloitte Ghana.
That's nice, a young girl. Anyway, welcome Jessica.
Thank you.
Okay, mostly guys do handshake, but we can hug in this setting. So today we are going to talk about the act of forgiveness. Tell us, what is forgiveness?
Forgiveness is a very crucial and important part of the mental and emotional well-being of an individual. So forgiveness helps to take away the burdens or the weight that unforgiveness brings. Like, if you don't forgive, there's this kind of stress and burden on you. Do you get it?
Yes.
So forgiveness is more of like something that takes away all those burdens away from you.
Okay, when you were telling us about forgiveness, like it's being something mental and all that I thought it's more about spirituality when you talk about forgiveness. Because for me, I hear a lot about forgiveness at the church, and I don't hear much about it at the hospital or outside, like when you are dealing with people. So when do you know, is it for like Christ's sake, or you are doing it for yourself so that the burdens you are saying is not going, I'm not going to feel that kind of burden?
Okay, so I would say it's both sides. It's both sides because forgiveness has a spiritual aspect, because Christ came to die for us, and then he forgave us of all our sins and everything, and he admonishes us to forgive. So it's sort of a spiritual requirement or admonishment. But aside that, we know that when we don't forgive, it brings stress, anxiety, depression, all those negative impacts. So if you learn to forgive, it's for your own good as well.
You feel yourself. Yes, it looked like I rushed into the topic. I would like to get to know more about you. So tell us about yourself, what actually you do, your hobbies, other things you are into aside your work, and then if you can tell us a little bit about how you've actually practiced forgiveness. And definitely you have a story to tell about forgiving someone or something. We'd love to hear that.
Okay. My name is Jessica Sem. I'm working with an audit firm. I'm currently doing audits. I've not really gone deep into it, but I would say I've learned so much in a short space of time. Yeah, and my hobbies, I like to listen to music when I'm free. I like to watch movies, like especially the Nollywood movies. Yeah, they are my favorite movies, the drama and those kind of movies. Okay. And I also like to help others. It's one of my aspirations to be able to get to a point where I'll be able to support the needy in the society. Yes, so right now I'm even with an NGO.
That's nice.
Yes, called Vein Ghana.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do at Vein Ghana?
Okay, Vein Ghana, I'm a financial secretary.
Okay, that's beautiful. I hope the experience has been fun.
Oh, it has been really fun. I've been able to learn how to work with people, collaborate with people, aside the finance duties as well.
How has your journey been, and then how have you practiced forgiveness in your journey?
So my life's journey has been on and off. You know, human beings, to err is human. Like, human beings make mistakes. So no matter what, no matter where you get to in life, you still meet people who step on your toes one way or the other.
Yeah.
You get it. So I've had so many experiences.
You know, sometimes you are applying for something with a friend, and a friend gets it. You don't get sad because you envy the person, but you feel sad for yourself. Oh, what did I do wrong? Yeah, and it's not everybody who can cover that up and see it in a positive way that, oh, my friend has gotten it and maybe she can guide me to apply again, or maybe there's something better for me. I saw a reel that said that when you are doing something it doesn't go well, it actually goes direction, but when it goes well, it's God's direction, and if it doesn't go well, it's God's protection. So He's protecting from something. If you have that kind of mindset, everything looks positive for you, so you wouldn't feel that bad. And it's not everyone who has learned that or even seen that real I'm talking about.
Yeah, I get you, but it's not everyone who has that mental growth and maturity as you are talking that way.
Yeah. How do people see that? Okay, this person I've actually offended, the person has forgiven me.
How do people see that?
Yeah, how would you notice if the person offended you, right? How would the person know that you've actually forgiven?
Okay, with that, there are so many approaches. If I was offended and then I come to you and I tell you that this and this is what you did, and we talk about it, we settle our differences, and then we forgive each other, there's clear communication that I've forgiven you. But the case where the person is not aware, that's where the issue comes, because maybe the person is not even aware that they've stepped on your toes.
Yeah.
I hope you get me.
So first of all, you're trying to say that I have to be aware that I'm wrong.
Yes.
Must it always be, do you have to always agree, like talk about it and agree that yes, you were wrong before? Because some people, it's better you are quiet, to me.
Yeah. Even if you are quiet, then there's no need for the person to know that you've forgiven the person, because the person will not even, I don't know how to put it, but the person is not even acknowledging that they are wrong. So they don't even care if you forgive me. But for your own personal betterment and becoming a better person, and you avoiding the mental stress that comes with it, you have to work on it yourself and forgive the person.
Nice. Aside your friend's issue, are there been other petty issues? You know, normally when you're in a house setting, definitely your sibling or someone says something that would really affect you, what has been the extreme defensive mechanism from your end? For example, to make the question clear, for me, when I was young, when I get angry, my parents know that I won't eat. I didn't know I was doing myself the harm, because I ended up falling sick because I don't eat all the time and all that. So what were some of the things you use as a defensive mechanism when you are mad at someone and you want the person to realize that you're actually mad at the person before you think of forgiving the person? That, like, the person is supposed to do something before you think of forgiving the person.
Okay, so me, for instance, in my home, I don't like it when you shout at me. I feel like there's a different approach of you correcting me than to shout at me. Okay. And when my dad shouts at me, like, it gets to me like, it just puts me off. So the only thing I will do is to just go into the room and cry. So that's the only thing that will show that I'm angry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And what do they do normally?
In Africa, what would they do?
Those watching are not all from Africa, so Africa, you have different
Please, in Africa here, your parents do not mind you, unless you go and tell them that what you did is not right. Don't cry. They will try and cover. They are always right in Africa here. So that's the setting we are here. Yes.
So our parents do have a part to play in forgiveness,
Definitely.
Teaching their kids how to forgive others.
Definitely. But I feel like in the African home, it's parents that are really good at forgiving. What do you think? I think I sort of think that in our day-to-day activities, we mostly step on their toes a lot.
Example.
That's how I feel. I feel like maybe there are common things, like maybe if your mom says go and do something, you're doing something else. It's like they're always complaining. Yeah. Do you get it? But they easily let go, like maybe the next moment they forget. I don't know if it's just my home. I don't know if you can relate with this.
I can.
Yeah.
Are there moments where you are supposed to forgive and moments, situations where you can forgive and situations you can't forgive? Like, this is actually the extreme. I can't take it anymore, so I'm not forgiving the person.
I believe that there are situations that it's hard to forgive, but you definitely have to forgive. Because I know some people intentionally do some things, but I believe it's for your own well-being.
So we are not forgiving the person for the person's sake, but for us.
For your own sake, yeah.
Interesting. So do you mean that when the Bible was talking about the fact that we should always forgive someone, even if the person wrongs us a number of times, right? We should always forgive. This is a case where maybe someone is kind of like, the person is maybe wants your downfall, even your death, right? You can't just like forgive the person just like that. And my question is coming to the aspect where they say forgive and forget, right? First of all, you answered that there are no situations where, let me say, you shouldn't forgive at all because you're doing it for yourself. Fine. I've been able to forgive the person, maybe the number of times I'm supposed to, forgive the person for. But forgetting, I feel like it's not my strength to forget because it's in my mind. My memory still records it. Do you think I have the capacity to force my brain to erase that incident from my head? And that would be it. Like, I can be in a good relationship with a person.
First of all, I would say forgiveness is not an easy thing. Forgiveness itself, even before coming to the forget it, is not an easy thing. I would say we should pray about it. We should continue to pray because the Holy Spirit can give us strength to forgive people. Do you get it? Yes. It's the Holy Spirit that can help us forgive people. Aside that, we should reflect. We should try and think from the person's perspective. Why do you think this person did this? Like, reflect. Sometimes in their shoes, if you try to think from their shoes, you understand the situation or why they did something. And you'll be able to, and try to forgive yourself as well, because there are some things that you might do that you like, this mistake, I should have never done it, and you are not able to forgive yourself. So you're supposed to do that. And then forgetting, focus on the things you love doing. Aside praying, you have to also focus on the things you love doing. Don't focus on the negative things that have happened. And hopefully you can forget, even though it's not easy.
So can you say that there's a saying that goes like, first fool is not a fool, second fool, whatever. So if you are supposed to forget what the person has done to you, I've totally forgotten. I'll still be in a normal relationship with the person, and the person wronged me again. Then the third time I become a fool, right? Because the person has wronged me again, and then I forgot about it. That's why I gave myself like out for the person to wrong me again. So how do I prevent those instances? Does it still mean that we have to still keep like some part like of the whole thing the person did to us in mind, so that next time when we are dealing with a person, we know that, okay, this person, I'm dealing with this person this way, I'm not going to be so close to the person anymore and all that, so that I can save my own self from.
You should be able to choose friends rightly. I'm saying that because I'm not saying if you forgive someone and you forget about it,
but it's not only friends who wrong us.
No, your relationships, like people you are with. So even if you are able to forgive and forget, that doesn't necessarily mean you should get to that close level you were with the person. If the person did it once, twice, and you've seen that, no, this person doesn't want my well-being, it's only prudent that you do not get close to the person that way, even though you've forgiven the person. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
I think I am.
Yes.
So you just have to advise yourself.
Advise yourself about people and how you relate with them.
Okay, that makes sense. I also want to know about the fact that, you know, sometimes forgiving someone, like you were saying earlier, you have to reflect, do this. Is there a process, like a step-by-step guide as to how you can forgive someone? And does it apply to every situation?
I believe situations are different, so there would not be a structured or step-by-step process of you forgiving someone. But there are some things you have to put in place to be able to.
And is it okay to pretend like you like somebody after the person has wronged you, and then you're forgiving the person? Like, you're in a certain way, you can't do anything about it. It's like the person's hugging everyone, so oh, hi, but you're not in a good relationship with the person. Yes, you're forgiving the person, but is it okay to pretend? And there's nothing wrong with that.
I wouldn't call that pretense.
Like, so you have to show that, hey, I don't want to hug you.
No, I'm saying that if you hug the person, cry, I don't call it pretense.
Okay. So you're making an effort.
You're just hugging the person, but in your head, you still have to advise yourself. So I don't know why that would be called pretense. I don't know if you get me. It's not pretense.
Well, when would do I have to apply that? let me say, someone is talking to me and then the person offends me. So that's an example. Like the person offends me, I get hurt. That's when I would think of, okay, so that I can stay in the same environment or whatever with the person, I have to forgive the person. So what are the instances where I had to apply the act of forgiveness?
At any point where someone has done something that it has gotten to you, forgiveness only comes when someone wrongs you. So it's at that point where someone has wronged you and you've realized it. And then I believe when people show remorse too, you have to forgive them.
Is it okay to go and ask someone for forgiveness if the person is not forgiving you? Like, you just feel like, oh, I've wronged this person. We've spoken about the issue, but looks like this person has not let go of the whole situation, right? Is it okay to go and ask for forgiveness?
Definitely.
How do you go about that? Like, give me a clear, like an example. So you've wronged me and then you want to make amends or reconcile with me. How are you going to approach that?
Okay, so I'm using you as an example. Okay, so when I come, I'll be like, Tracy, I'll talk about the situation. I don't have any situation in mind right now.
Okay.
But I'll talk about the situation and like accept. First of all, you have to accept that you are wrong. If you are not able to accept, the person will not see the need to forgive you. So I'll accept that this and this is what I did wrong and I'm sorry about it. We talk about it. And I'll ask you to forgive me.
Then what if I say no?
I'll pray to God about you.
And that's it.
If you say no, I have to still insist. But if you say, then I can just give you some space to think about it.
Okay, that's great. Do you think after a closure, like somebody has wronged you, you've forgiven the person, there must be a closure? A closure in a sense that, okay, this is what you did. I was hurt, I've forgiven you, but I think I didn't make you aware that I think I can't work together with you, and I want to bring our friendship to an end. It's like you are bringing an end to everything that has been, or you just part ways, you just move on without stating clear that, okay, I'm actually moving on with my life. Should there be a closure?
It depends on the kind of relationship you have with the person.
So what kind of relationships?
I feel like me, for instance, some things I'll just advise myself, but I will not tell you that I'm bringing an end to our friendship or anything. But in some situations, it's very necessary so that the people will know who they are in your life as in that moment.
Yeah.
As at that moment.
When you were young, did you hear of any story? Were you told of any story, an ancestor story, or any tale about forgiveness that you learned forgiveness as a lesson in?
Not really, but it's just a normal Bible stories that we've been hearing.
Which of them, for example?
The prodigal son.
Who forgave who?
The father forgave the son who betrayed his father.
Well, to me, I saw it that the father was excited about the fact that the son was home, so it's override.
Yeah, the forgiveness came naturally.
Oh, so that's the actual forgiveness.
Yeah.
What if you don't have anything positive to hold on? You are my friend. You've not brought any positive thing in my life. You keep bothering me. Do you understand? I don't have any positive thing to hold on to forgive the person. So me forgiving the person, would you say it's not natural? Like I'm just doing it because I want to be fine.
Yeah, in situation like I feel like it's such like every situation differs. Okay, every situation differs. But in situations where like you feel like you don't have to forgive someone because there's something about the person that even if you forgive the person, you're making yourself better. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right. So to add up with what Jessica was saying, sometimes when you feel like you can't forgive someone and then it's so difficult for you, you have to let it out first so that you can get the second point of view. The person can tell you, oh, okay, you also went wrong this way, because that person is from a layman's perspective, so the person can tell you that. And then you can also book therapy sessions to also talk about the things that are bothering you so that they can help you. This question is coming from one audience, and the person sent it to me and wanted me to ask you about that. He said the father abandoned him when he was young, and right now he's making it, and the father wants to be like that with him. Do you think the father is entitled to his forgiveness, or is the boy having the choice to forgive the father, or just not mind him at all, like just continue with his life? And the last question he asked was also that if he forgives the father, is it compulsory for him to make him feel like he's a father, like checking up on him, taking care of him now that the man is old and all that?
First of all, is he okay right now? Like,
Who?
The person,
The
like,
guy.
without forgiving the father, does he feel okay?
He didn't know the father, so he doesn't even care.
Ah.
According to him, he didn't know him. He just came out of the blue, and they had to run a DNA, and
Wow.
he realized, oh yeah, the man is his father. So,
Well, I would say in such a situation, the father is remorseful. I know it's
Okay.
not going to be easy forgiving his father, but his father is remorseful and his father has come to him for forgiveness. I know it's not going to be easy, but I'll tell him to try and forgive his father and see how the relationship will go.
yeah.
And if there are some things he doesn't understand about why the father did some things,
You can
he
talk.
should let it out and get perspectives from his father on why
Why
his
he did
father
that.
also did some things. Because maybe in some people's situations, their mothers tell them some stories which may not even be true.
Yeah.
Maybe the mother was rather mistaken, but the mother told him her side, other things about their father. So he should try and open up and try to get the reasons why his father did. I'm sure he has so many questions on his head, like, why did my father do this? Why didn't you get it? So he has to get those questions answered first of all before he can do anything.
Yeah, so just like Jessica said, you have to just think about the situation. Talk to your dad about it. Why did you disappear? What happened? Like, find a way to talk to him and then get all your pain out and all your questions answered. If you think you can't handle it, and then maybe you talking to him, you may make you angry. Looking at your own temperament, you can get a second person in the setting and then you talk about it. Not somebody who is from the family, like maybe your mother or your siblings, because they may have their own personal issues with him as well. So maybe just an ordinary person who maybe your dad is not like that with you yourself, you're not like that with a person, and then you talk to the person and you all maybe come to an agreement. You can also take time. See, sometimes you just don't have to just go out there and forgive. Take time. Think about it. Do I really want to forgive this person? Because what you tell yourself that, oh, I don't want this person, I don't think there's a way for me to forgive the person. You are trying to harden your heart already. So there's no way you allow the person to come in. But when you soften yourself and give it a try, you'll be able to give a room for the person to also, bring out his or her pains and the reason why he even came back. Even if he was actually wrong, he did run away. You will get to know why he actually did that. And sometimes too, most of you have that kind of burden on you that, oh, did my dad run away because I was a child he didn't want, or I'm ugly, or I don't respect, or I'm like this. It helps you know that, oh, I'm not the fault. You weren't the fault at all. So do it for yourself. Don't do it because you feel like, oh, my daddy will come and ask me for money as soon as I forgive him. Maybe he will, but you have the choice to or not to. But forgiving the person is the best thing you can do for now. Yeah. So before Jessica leaves the show, we are going to talk about some of the signs to, how should I say it, to communicate. Sometimes you can't, when you look at your temperament, for me, when I get angry, I don't speak. I just isolate and then just think about it and then come and talk to you about the problem later when I'm calm, so that we can discuss it, right? And when I feel like I've just seen you once and I'll see you again, I just feel like there's no need to talk about it. I will just deal with myself. I will forgive myself for even coming in contact with you, and then I'll just move on, right? But when someone moves on, doesn't mean that the person has an issue with you, for all you know, is for the person's own betterment. Okay, so Jessica will just summarize whatever she said today and how we can forgive each other at your workplace, at home, with your friends, when you encounter people out there, and how it's actually going to help your life so that you can live a peaceful and free mind.
It's forgiveness brings about love and unity. See, so the story of the prodigal son is about a son who betrayed his father and asked for all his belongings and all his properties that were the properties that the father was supposed to give to the son. Yes, he asked for it and went away and neglected his family, neglected his father and everything. And when he went out and squandered all the properties and everything, he came back to his senses and went back to his father and showed remorse to his father. And his father forgave him, received him, and treated him like a son. Yeah. Yes.
That's a nice story. But the Bible also says that to every actions or decisions we take, there are consequences to it, right? And even Adam and Eve were kicked out of the Garden of Eden because they were asked not to do something, and they did that, right? So, not to say God didn't forgive them. So, I'm saying that in some situations, this is it. Maybe your boss has told you, don't do this. When you do this, this is the consequences. Are you expecting forgiveness in that sense? Or are you expecting that you go to the punishment, the person will still forgive you or something?
No, even if I make a mistake, not like make a mistake, I knew that these are the consequences, and I did it, and I went through it, and I was like, I've come back to my senses. I just need to show remorse to whoever advised me about it.
So you still accept the punishment and then the consequences?
Because the consequences come with it, yeah. So you definitely go through it, but that shouldn't say that you shouldn't that shouldn't mean you shouldn't forgive yourself.
Okay.
You have to learn to forgive, reflect on your actions, think about it, be compassionate to yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Take time, think about it, and forgive yourself. After that, you
make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and you show remorse to the affected parties. It's very necessary to show remorse, and you're not always going to be in the position where you are the one supposed to forgive. You'll be in a position where you are also supposed to seek forgiveness from others. So you have to learn to let go of your ego. You know how it is sometimes you be like, this person, why should I go and apologize? Well, nah. You have to learn to let go of the ego and show remorse when you know you are very wrong, and talk about the issue and ask for forgiveness.
Okay, so when we talk about forgiveness, it comes with truth. So sometimes the person doesn't even know you just lied to the person, or the person's asking you a question. Just be honest, and then you just ask for forgiveness right after telling the person. I hope this was helpful and you've all learned something from it. Please comment at the comment section some of the situations that were so difficult for you to forgive. If some of them we read it and then we feel like we need a therapist, or you think you also need a therapist, you can add it to the caption, and then we would help you in the best way we can to get your therapist to talk about it. Okay, so Jessica here, you heard about her. She's not a therapist, or let me say a preacher, right? We just want to know how everyone thinks about forgiveness. Yes, that's why we invited her on the show, because you can't preach something you don't know about. And then when you're teaching someone as a teacher, you teach from the known to the unknown. You get it, right? So now we know her perspective about forgiveness.
I want to add time. In cases where we are stuck and we don't know what to do, situations where people have wronged us, we don't know how to go about it, we can speak to other people we trust, other people we know they would give us good advice concerning that specific situation. Because right now, as we are sitting here, we can't tell everyone's situation and how to like every situation will differ. So we can't tell everyone's situation at this point and be specific on it that this is how you go about it or this is how you go about it. But there are definitely people who are close to you that you know are knowledgeable. And
you know that situation where you go and wrong someone, right? And your best friend is supporting you and you're wrong. yes, she's right. You didn't do it right. Like, don't be a bad friend. Like, just keep quiet. When you come inside, then you can blast her or something. You don't say against her or say it for her. Just try to analyze the situation. Stop making it look like. And it's not nice. That's when the mother or the father hears about it, the parents will start talking about each other. You don't have good friends around you, and you tend to feel bad because here's what your mother is telling you, you are not a good friend. But it's true, you didn't play the right way in the person's life. So stop supporting things you don't know about. Just get to know more about it before you support the person. Yeah. Were you done with it?
Yeah, I'm done. Okay,
so if you need a therapist, to please reach out to any mental health advocates. Mostly they do have psychiatric doctors. They have people who do psychology and then psychiatry. So psychiatry has more to do with the illnesses, and then psychology is just about how we think. It's about the brain and all that. So we all have our differences. Sometimes little things that we feel like, oh, me, I'm very okay and all that. Maybe you are not. Little things like maybe you leave home and then you are thinking about, did I really lock the place? Should I go back? Like, all those things are mental illnesses, but we don't know. And then they are minor and you can live with it. Yes. Yeah, so think about yours.
Like if you are thinking that you've not really locked the door, like you got...
Yes. Like you've locked the door and then you are going, hey, did I lock it? Like you are forgetting. Yeah, we do have ADHD and a lot of other illnesses. You may be talking, like as I was talking to her, you realize that sometimes I forget a question, right? It's not scripted. It's natural. As she was talking, I got the question in mind. I wanted to ask her, but what she said actually threw me off. I just forgot, and then I remembered later on and I brought it in. Sometimes I'll be talking and then I'll leave it and say something else. All those things have their names and meanings to it, and they are all mental situations where you can manage the situation, okay? So don't laugh at anybody if someone has a mental illness, if someone has difficulties in forgiving you, someone has anger issues and all that. Just make sure that you do your part to help the person heal from it, and then you do your part to heal yourself, because you can't give what you don't have. You get me? Okay, so this comes to the end of our podcast for today, and it's all about forgiveness. In our other podcast, we'll have a discussion as people, like 3 or 4 people, where there'll be a therapist who can give us what a person has to say in their learned point of view. And then there are people like Jessica and myself, where we can also bring in our natural thoughts on how we also approach the situation. We'll talk about it spiritually, physically, socially, and see how we can all work to better ourselves and grow well. Okay, thank you all for joining and tuning in. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.